Guys, before we start, we will have Alex speak probably within an hour from now. Jim Benning will open up with a brief statement, and then we'll turn it over to you for your questions.
Hey, it's been a hard day. Alex Burrows has been the heart and soul of our franchise for a long time. He's given us everything that he's had. He's been so good with our young players this year. But given where we're at right now, we just felt it was time to make the move. We got back, we feel, a real good young player in Jonathan Dahlin. So we're excited about that.
How much interest was there in Alex prior to this deal?
Well, there was a lot of interest. A lot of teams called on him to see if he would be willing to move his no trade. I talked to him about a week ago, and he wanted me to keep him in the loop as to which teams had called. So we did that, through his agent and stuff. And I guess, it was this morning that he made the decision when I came into the office this morning that he would agree to move his no trade to go to Ottawa.
How long have the discussions with Ottawa been going on?
I would say they've been going on for 3 or 4 days. Pierre's been excellent through this whole process and understanding what he's meant to our franchise. He's, and I think where they're at as a team, they get a player of Alex's caliber to help them, with the leadership in the room, with the young players that they have there now and have coming. I think it was a good fit. So, but, me and Pierre have been talking for 3 or 4 days, but finally it was this morning that we really, moved forward on the deal.
How did you land on Dahlin then, Jim, and was he always a player you were after?
Yeah, Jonathan Dahlin is a player, like we didn't have a second-round pick in last year's draft, but he was a 42nd player taken overall. He's been a player that we've had our eye on. He's a guy that, he's a goal scorer. He's good around the net. He's sure-handed. He's got a good nose for the net, and he'll pay the price to get there. At the World Junior this year, he scored 7 goals. We watched him through that, and we thought the parts of his game that we worried a little about last year had improved. So I think at the end of the day, I think where we're at right now and where Ottawa's at, it was a fair deal for both teams.
He's a smallish player. I know that you had a situation with Hunter Shinkarik, who was a smaller guy, and you weren't sure if that ability to score would translate it to the NHL level. Are you convinced that Jonathan has that? Yeah,
because the way he scores his goals is by going hard to the net. He's got good hands around the net. Like if you YouTube him, the style in which he scores his goals, we feel you can score that way at the NHL level.
Jim, you've had to make some tough decisions since you've come to this organization. Does this rank up there as maybe the most difficult?
It really does. I can't say enough about Alex Burrows as a person and as a player, and his wife Nancy, and everything that they've meant to this community through the years. And even this year, when you look at how much he helped Bo Horvat out and Sven Barchi. And he's the type of guy that he showed up at the rink every day with a good attitude and put his work boots on and went to work. So we're going to miss his leadership in the room. We're going to have other guys step up.
Was there thought of holding him out of today's practice? Because you said he came in this morning.
Yeah, well, we didn't really get anything finalized till this afternoon. Like we started talking, I guess seriously this morning, but it was after practice before we finalized the deal.
Jim, was there ever a thought that you might get him back, that he would join a team, play in the playoffs, and you have a chance at re-signing him, or was that not something you were looking at?
Well, we talked about bringing him back for another year. I think this year he's been so good for us, and he's helped us, with the young players and their development and stuff. So at our pro meetings a week ago, we did talk about bringing him back.
Jim, there's been activity not only here but around the league, and some significant activity in the last 48 hours. Do you get the sense from working the phones that this could be a final 48 hours before the deadline that's busy, if not more so?
Yeah, I don't know that answer, Joey. Like, it seems like the activity, the phone calls have picked up. There's a lot of different things in play this year with, first of all, meeting the criteria for the expansion draft, maybe not knowing where the cap's going to be at next year. So I think there's a lot of things going into play this year that you might not have in other years. So I have no idea at the end of the day if there's going to be a lot of movement or not.
Does this deal get done if there's no extension available for him? And just mainly that.
Yeah, I don't know that. Like, I think, their intention was, where they're at as a team. They're adding a player that's been, has a proven record of playing well in the playoffs. They got good young players. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things that it was, Pierre felt it was a good fit for them to acquire a player of Alex's experience.
Jim, do you know what's next for Dahlin then? He's in the Swedish League right now. What's the plan for him this season and next season?
So we're going to talk to him first of all. He's played, in the Division I league this year. He's had a good year. Last I looked, he had like 24 goals. I think we're gonna try to sign him this summer, get him over here, see where he's at. I think he's going to need some seasoning in the AHL. And then we'll just see where he's at with his development. The thing about, trading for a player that has that's a little bit older, he's got a couple years of development under his belt already versus getting a draft pick. So he's further ahead in his development. So we're going to try to get him signed and get him over here for next year.
Knowing that the situation with Columbus isn't finalized yet, whether you get a second-round pick this year or next year, you could go into this draft without a pick in rounds 2, 5, and 6, if I'm not mistaken. Is it a priority for you before the deadline, if you can, to acquire a few more draft picks?
Well, we have our second-round pick this year. So the picks we don't have right now are picks 5 and 6. And, we're working the phones. We're going to continue to do that. And if we can acquire more picks, we'd like to do it.
How important was it to get this done now and not wait until Wednesday?
Well, these deals seem to happen when they happen, I talked to some GMs this morning, and, they asked about our players, and Alex in particular, and I had no idea that I'd come to the office and the deal would get done today. So, these things all take, time to figure out and to work out. Some deals get done faster than others. This deal, I think, got done faster than most deals do, but, we're going to continue to work on deals here the next couple of days, and we'll see where we end up at the deadline.
How much do you think Bishop going to LA yesterday affected what you may be able to do with Ryan?
Yeah, that's, we've had some calls on Ryan. We'll see here the next, day and a half and see where it ends up. But, I think, them getting Bishop, I don't know how many other teams need good starting goalies.
There seems to be some thought that regardless of what took place yesterday, that he could still sign as a free agent July 1st, either in LA or perhaps with you. Are you guys open to that possibility?
Yeah, we're open to that. We've talked about that all year. We feel he's had a real good year for us this year. He's an experienced goalie, so, we've talked about bringing him back.
Minnesota seemed like a decent fit for Yannick yesterday. Are you done for the day, or do you still have?
We're not done for the day. We've been, we worked all day yesterday, trying to figure some things out. I got a lot more calls to make today, so we're going to, make the calls and see, where we end up. And if deals, make sense for us, we're going to look at them hard and do them.
Do you have a plan for call-ups then? I don't know the injury, illness.
Yeah, we're like, that's a complicated situation. We're going to find out on a couple players tonight. We're going to get their blood work done, so we'll have a better idea if they're going to be available for tomorrow or not. And we got one player that we're going to call up a forward to, and just in case those guys can't play.
Jim, you getting a sense that other managers might be thinking twice about deals with the mumps having gone through the room? I know obviously with Alex, maybe that's self-explanatory, but were there any concerns from other GMs with that in the room?
Yeah, like, we get questions on that, but like if other managers have concerns, like they can talk to our team doctors, and, their team doctor can talk to our team doctor and get a level of comfort with it. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, though, in trying to make a trade.
There's been a lot of interest in Yannick Hansen right now.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of interest in Yannick. Anything else?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.